So tell me a little bit about aspirations. Because you talk about aspirations, you talk about flourishing. So I
Yeah.
want you to kind of explain that as a concept. Because if I'm a CEO, or if I'm a head of customer experience, or if I'm actually a board member listening to this conversation, what's aspiration and why is flourishing and understanding that concept so important for me as a company?
So those are two big things. They're related, but they're big things. You should ask two different questions of that. So I'll start with flourishing, um, which is flourishing has undergone a renaissance. It's been around since the Bible and Aristotle with his eudaimonias, as he called it in Greek. And it's about living a good life. It's about having well-being and prosperity and wisdom and meaning. And it, it basically, I define it as flourishing is the extent to which you are who you're meant to be.
Hmm.
Right. And so a lot of people try and do these measures and that sort of thing. And it doesn't seem to work for me. So think of the measure or the extent to which your customers are who they're meant to be, even if they don't know who that is. And usually they don't. Right. But how do you help them flourish? Flourishing is the raison d'etre of business, of capitalism, of the free market economy. Why it has given us so much of super abundance, as one book is titled. Superabundance in our world today is because of the free market economy, where nobody ever gives money out of their wallet or their purse or their account to you as a company unless they think your offering is going to provide more value to them. It's going to be better off than the amount of money that they have. It's going to help them flourish. They don't always know what that is. They're often wrong about whether it's going to help them flourish or not. But that's the why, right? Is that. And so you're, as a business, as a board member, in particular, or as an executive in a company, you need to think about how your purpose is to help your customers flourish, and by extension, your employees, your communities, and society overall. You need to be a net positive contributor to the world, not extractive like so many companies are that extract from the world, trying to addict people to their products, demean them, denigrate them, be deleterious to them instead of edifying them and lifting them up and helping them flourish. You can see a couple of recent court cases in the U.S. that accused some folks of and found them guilty, basically, of addicting people to their products, right? And I'm not going to comment on the efficacy of the verdict, but doing so is immoral, right? It's basically immoral. And so what about profits, right? Our stakeholders are supposed to make profits out of this, yes, but the way to get the most profits is not to focus on profits;
Hmm.
it's to focus on flourishing. And
Hmm.
profits then are the measure by which you help your customers flourish and contribute to flourish in the world. If you focus on that, then the profits will come. Yes, it's much more of a long-term view. You may hurt profits in the short term. In October, the CEO of Humana in the U.S. insurance healthcare company announced that they're going to stop taking on new customers because they're not doing a good enough job with their current customers.
Hmm.
Right, so they're foregoing revenue and some level of profits in order to ensure that they help their current customers flourish. And then once they get that basic job done, then they'll go up. So the aspirations then is all about the why,
Hmm.
right? It's why are customers buying from you, right? Why is this product going to help me flourish? And what you need to do is you need to ask that why. In fact, you need to use the old manufacturing technique of asking 5 whys.
Hmm.
Right, which is why, until you find that core aspiration. And that's what your customers are really buying from you. It's Peter Drucker said this, and others have said that you're never selling what your customers are buying, right? Well, this is how to figure that out, is to ask why they're buying. And even if you don't get all the way to that core aspiration, you become more transformational the closer you get. If you just take 1 or 2 steps beyond what you're selling today and provide what your customers want, then you'll create more value and you'll be able to charge more for that. Even if you don't get into the full transformation, a full outcome guarantee, you can charge a premium for what you're doing by focusing on why people are buying from you, right? And an aspiration, excuse me, is basically, I'm going to go from X to Y, right? From 2 statements. I want to go from flabby to fit. I want to go from high weight to low weight. I want to go from smoker to non-smoker. I want to go from a failing business to a successful business, right? Whatever it might be. And obviously those are very generic. So then you need to get down to each individual aspiration about why this particular person or this particular company is buying from me and how can I help them achieve that.